We're really excited to work on these types of incredible objects, but what's frustrating is that things will come in and we'll have to understand, learn. Things are really new. What are the properties of birch bark? How do quills act, when you're working with them? And so for us, to have experts like you all here, it's great because I feel like we can do so much of that investigation on our own, but there are a lot of blanks that we don't understand because we just don't have that familiarity. The mission of the museum states that, the expertise is held in the communities and that we need to work in partnership. The more we understand about these pieces, the better we're able to care for them while they're here at the museum. So we take that job very seriously.
My birth name is Benakwique, which means falling leaves woman. My English name is Yvonne Marie Walker, and then my married name is Yvonne Marie Keshick.
My name is Mina Toulouse from Saginaw First Nation, Canada. I'm here to help the museum to identify their quilt boxes because I'm mainly in quilt box making.
My name is Theodore Toulouse, and I'm also from Canada, Saginaw Anishinaabe Reserve. I'm here to help Mina for her demonstration and to identify the items.
We usually get our porcupine quilts from farmers, cottagers, and roadkill. I tell the kids, this is a porcupine. And then he crossed the road. And here he is. I never tried natural dyes, but the black, how do you do with your black?
I don't use dye, try not to.
Yeah.
I try to use just all
The
natural quills. Yeah.
With this sweetgrass here, when I blanch it, I put it in a dry place, and I usually get a black material to cover it up. Okay. Well, how do you keep it?
After it's dried and we take it off the string since it's hanging up in bunches like these and like a grass skirt.
Well, how my grandmother used to do that is, in those days we had a wood stove. She used to make great big fire. She would just slap it. You flip it over again.
So it's rested on the stove?
Mm-hmm. Rested on the stove,
just for a little while, eh?
Just for a while. And then go this way again, that way. And hers stayed green for a long, long time.
My teacher, Susan Shaganabe, said the bark is ready to pick from the trees when the strawberries are ripe in June in the area where you live. I put tobacco down at the first tree, general prayer for all the trees that I'm going to cut. We don't cut every tree we come to. If the tree is stripping, then we'll cut the long cut all the way down from as high as you could reach to about knee level, and then you cut it off. Lift up the corner and run your fingers down like this. It lifts right off, real easy, right where it's supposed to come off. And all you can hear through the woods is it's scary because you don't know what is that sound. Somebody out there shooting. The gophers we have with us, they'll come along and gather up the bark. And it's usually younger people, teenagers, will do that. So they see and they learn. This is white birch. This is the sap side, and this is the part that's wet. And I don't think Odawa people could have survived without the use of the birch bark tree. Maybe one day you can do a brainstorming, all the things you can make from birch bark. The majority of the quill boxes that we had were used for storing dried foods, seeds, herbs, medicines, things like that. With the Europeans coming, they wanted the boxes to store gloves, handkerchiefs, snuff boxes, and jewelry. It caused a change in the making of the quill boxes, and it also made a big demand as a trade item. So what we're going to be making today is a birch bark pendant. It's two pieces of bark that are placed together. You quill each side, and then sweetgrass gets sewn around the item, so it's a very uncomplicated thing. It's an introduction to quill work.
Someone need some more water?
You guys need
Bish, over here. Bish, over here.
Bish.
Okay. Water, bish. Bish. I know which one's going to be real good. It has a perfect circle.
Don't come over here, Mina.
My awl, when you look at it close, it's almost touching the quill right next door. So the awl and the quills are almost the same thickness. Quill work is not difficult. It's time consuming, but I love doing quill work. It's therapy. It's therapy.
Well, most of them, they say after they do a workshop, and they say, well, now I know why these are expensive.
Yes. That's so true, Mina.
We're getting ready to sew the pieces together. Start sewing. If you're right-handed, your sweetgrass is going to point off towards your left hand. We're going to whip stitch all the way around. And this is just a feather using natural shading, and this is our tribal eagle.
In our profession, they want us to leave every trace. Now, there are different levels of this, and this is what I'm interested in kind of talking about. There might be options that we're not thinking about. And so while you all are here, it'd be really great to kind of talk about what the different options are. So what we did today really will inform what we're writing in this section, because we learned much more about how these pieces are made than we knew before. So what I tried to do is actually glue pieces of quill onto the tiny little ends and use the quill as a bridge. It worked. I feel like if I were more adept at using quill working, it would have been easier, more successful. The thing I liked about it is that it gave the same dimension as the quill. The process of taking the old quill out and inserting a new quill, we're very interested in hearing how you all would do that. And then I think the next phase is, if we really aren't allowed, if they really don't want us to remove any of the original material, what we can do.
When I work on an object that needs quills to be replaced, I use the tweezers and the awl, to pull out the old pieces. And then if there's a little stump left in the hole, I have another awl with a flat tip on it, and I push on it and it falls into the lining. Pull it through on the other side just as if it was a single layer of bark, but I'm actually going through the inner lining and outer layer and pull it through, and then do the same thing with the top. It's the lifetime of the quill box. It's wear and tear on the box. There are some that bring to me that are too old, too brittle, too dry, too damaged. The threads are rotting on it. I cannot repair this. This one has gone too far. Just let it live out its lifetime the way it is, and when you dispose of it, you burn it.
Again, in working with the curators, a lot of the discussion centered around, is the design disrupted? Is this distracting?
To fix it would remedy the distraction. And it doesn't take anything away from the piece, and it adds more.
What we do versus what the artist did has to be really identifiable. So Nancy, when she's been working on her things, marks the quills with a UV marker that you can't see, but if someone looks at it under UV, they can tell what quills she's replaced. That's something that we are required to do. And we write it in the report and document where it is. That's another thing that we just have to keep in mind when we're deciding on what to do.
I was really excited. It was a real opportunity to see other people's work. I didn't recognize anyone's work, and yet, the color and the age of the boxes was surprising to me, and the repair work that was going on, the conservation part, that was going on to preserve it. I thought that was really great.